A very good day to you all. I am Dr. Larry T. Crudup, the pastor of... This month, we will converse with Dr. Ebony Gaffeny as she talks with us about mental health and the need to let go of the stigma of having mental health conversations and finding resources. I truly believe that mental health is a key component of our overall health. And at Mount Moriah, we are striving to embrace the need for preventative mental health conversations and resources. So stop, watch, and listen as we discuss our mental health and how to take care of ourselves. We hope that these conversations will help you in some way. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and comment in the comments section below. Also, follow us here on Facebook and on our YouTube page for more soul-feeding content. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Community Conversations. I am Jean McIver, your facilitator. We will be having virtual conversations to inform, inspire, and empower you, the community. Today, we have the pleasure of having two special guests. Now, please remember that we're still dealing with mental health. And today we have Mr. Noah Banks and we have Dr. Gaffeny, Dr. Ebony Gaffeny, who has already been with us for the first two episodes, which had to do with wellness, mental wellness, and family and friends. This time we will be discussing youth wellness, and that's why we have a youth here to share all of the information, so we're going to ask him questions. So before we do that, we need to find out more about them. So, Mr. Noah Banks, please share your bio with us.
My name is Noah Banks. I am a graduate of Spencer High School, class of 2023, not too long ago. I'm also an Eagle Scout of Troop 106 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and also as well do other things within Boy Scouts, like currently right now I'm doing a Cub Scout day camp, also do the OA, I work with my unit as well, and other things throughout our council, and then also do things in school as well as choir. I did choir, my show choir, orchestra, Spanish club, Black History club, Beta club, musical theater. I do a lot of things. I'm a busy person. One, I like to be around people, and I'm an extrovert, so I like being around people and being out and stuff, and also like just doing things that interest me, and if I like it, then I continue. If I don't like it, I'm like, okay, forget it, I didn't like that, and move on to the next thing.
But you tried it.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you would like to share?
I was also born in Georgia, then I moved here of July 2011 with my mom and my sister.
Okay. So that transition, how was that transition from you? Because Georgia is much larger than Sparkle City.
That transition, now, as an I came in around elementary school, so it wasn't too much for me, Kids, they see details of you, but it don't really stick out a lot, so that transition wasn't too much on me from elementary school. I enjoyed my elementary school. I went to Jesse Boyd Elementary. I loved that school. My dad tried to get me to Pound Street, but every time registration came around, they filled up so quick, so I could never get in there. So I stayed at Jesse Boyd after 2 years of trying. I'm like, might as well stay. But I think where everything for me, where I really was picking up on stuff is middle school, because you're getting older, going through puberty, so you're more observant of things that occur. Middle school for me, it was a bit much, because kids are trying to figure out who they are, so it's constantly switching up what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what they think is good and what they think it's not, and you're going through all that while also trying to learn how you are in the social life. social life for me was very different because I had different interests as an African American boy than other black boys did, as well as just other people in general. I like playing sports. It's easier for me to think about sports without the competitive factor. So I like to get active without thinking, oh my gosh, I'm either gonna win or lose whatever I'm about to do. But me predominantly, even I did play sports, my thing was music. I live, sleep, breathe music ever since I was a kid. Since my mom says I've been singing since birth, but I didn't really get into it since I was in kindergarten. Did music stuff in kindergarten, and I came to South Carolina. And one thing that I love about South Carolina is that they're big on theater, fine arts and stuff, especially within, at least at my school district, Star District 7. So I like that, and it's a lot of opportunities for people like me who like music and fine arts to get in that stuff. But I've always been a choir kid, played cello in 5th grade, and boys, of course, will do the whole profile thing like, oh, you like that? That's for girls. I'm like, but you listen to these male rappers, you have male artists like John Legend or other artists that y'all also listen to. Does that same thing goes with them, sort of say? So that was my home school. Now high school, then the COVID stuff came around, and that, I would say that it was definitely an interesting phase in life, especially for in high school, your most precious years, I would say, even more than elementary, middle school. High school is like where everything counts, I would say.
Well, listen, community. Noah Banks is multi-talented. He has so many different interests and does so many things. So young people, if someone tells you you can only do one thing, Noah Banks is proof that you can do it all. And now we will hear the bio of Dr. Ebony Gaffeny.
Hello again, my name is Dr. Gaffeny. I am a native of Calpian, South Carolina. Just a quick elevator pitch, I like to say. I have my undergraduate degree from North Carolina State University. I have a MBA in Health Administration from Gardner-Webb University. I have an MD from Xavier School of Medicine out of Aruba, and I have a PhD from Walden University with a concentration on health education and promotion. Now, that's all the degrees. I am truly a Calpians native. I've been home in Spartanburg since 2020, me and my family. I am the medical director of Spartanburg Area Mental Health, where we cover 3 counties, Union, Cherokee, and Spartanburg. I am happy to be here at the Community Conversations to talk more about youth and what we can do to help empower them.
Thank you both so much, and just more and more information. And guess what? I'm going to be smart because they're smart. They have all the knowledge and the wisdom, and I am going to learn from them. And community, guess what? You're going to learn from them as well. Today, we're talking about youth wellness. So, Noah, may I call you Noah?
Yeah.
Okay. The first question that I would like to ask you is, what is your perception of the broad spectrum of mental health concerns for youth?
The spectrum is, I would say, very broad. You just have different situations that happen throughout, especially my high school years, that has became a peaking high, like to the point that kids are too scared to come to school because of school shootings and stuff. And you constantly see this on the news, and you're like, am I safe where I am? Am I gonna have that person that tries to take somebody out because they're angry about something? And then of course that comes with more issues with that too. The person itself that's thinking about doing this crime could have issues themselves, or we don't know what they have got going on. But it's very broad. It's just that it just hurts that I'm seeing me, myself, and then me and my friends struggling with this. And sometimes you have people that want to help you and some people that don't, or there's even things that you experience throughout that time that's just tearing you down even more. I mean, depression is a big thing with teenagers, anxiety, I've been hearing also ADHD to ADD, things of that nature. And it's really hard, especially as teenagers, to come to terms to it because we know what it can do. So we have a tendency to hide it. I can say that I have a tendency to hide mine because I don't want to see people like me not, I guess, like fully there, like I'm tired or I am just not here. I'm just like, I'm just gone. And when people pick up on it, it's like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm just tired. I'm just tired type of person because I don't want what I experience make other people hurt too. And then it's the whole, you want to do something about it, and it's like, no, because I feel like, I guess seeking help hasn't always been the best for us.
Okay. Now, with you saying that, it takes me back to the last episode about family and friends. And Dr. Gaffeny, you spoke in reference to this. So can you share with us as far as the youth, with him saying hiding stuff and trying to do this and put on this other face, and with all the things that they're dealing with because of COVID and because of, being outgoing, whatever, and he just stated that he's an outgoing person, so he is not an introvert. So can you share a little bit with that?
Thank you, Noah, for being transparent.
Right.
About your experiences. Gives us an opportunity as adults to see a glimpse of what you guys are going through. Sure, we remember when we were young, but the things are very different then than they are now. And so oftentimes, when you hit the nail on the head, you're already trying to figure life out, yourself, and then your friends, where you're going, where you've been, is this right, is this wrong? I can't say it's gonna get easier, but I can say that talking about the situation, keeping an open mind about where you are will help you and your friends. And I was thinking as you were talking, has the school developed opportunities for you guys to a safe place, a safe opportunity to talk about what's happening, right? Or an opportunity to ask questions because you're curious at this age. And the only way you're gonna do better, get better, is to get answers to your questions. And your questions are different than mine because you're in it. I'm on the outside, and I would say just go to school, do your lesson, and come home. But as you said, there's fear, there's doubt, there's anxiety, there's a mask. I'm fine, I'm doing well, but you're not. The reality is you're not. So that would be my question. I don't know if District 7 is doing anything, have done anything, but that would be important because I used to look at school as a place I can go to every day and find my other family, right? Your friends. And so, or teachers who would get you in line, or you can go get a snack from Miss such and such, or they're gonna call your mom, or they know your mom, Me and my siblings went to the same school, so by the time they got to me, as the youngest, I already knew they knew my mom by speed out, so I was okay. But now there's that media, there's the social stuff that you get caught up in, and you start doubting yourself. So then it's your church community, it's your culture of your home life. You find who you are with your home life. You find out what you're supposed to be with the directions from your parents. That's who are supposed to teach you, and then your friends are supposed to expand you. Sometimes we get it backwards. Sometimes we let our friends train us and then let our family expand us. But you, knowing what all you've done, obviously, your family has taught you certain things, but it doesn't mean it still doesn't get confusing when you're around people who didn't or wasn't taught the same thing you were taught or brought up in. So, I said a whole lot. It's broad, right? And it's not just one particular thing, it's all of it. Mental health is a common word now in high school. It's very common to talk about. I was just at an institute or hospitalized over the weekend. Kids are being hospitalized more and more these days, or I'm homebound. because I got bullied, and every time I go into school, I get anxious and nervous, or I tear up the school because I don't want you to know I don't know. And the only way I can express myself is through chaos. And as you get older and COVID hit, it just brought really like a cloud on the high school students because it is your prime years. It's what you live for. And now you don't get to go. And if you go, you gotta wear a mask. And if you go, you gotta do this. And you can't go out, hang out afterwards because there's no games, there's no restaurants, there's no social interaction. We're social butterflies, you know. So my founding on what Noah said is, you know, look for resources for where you are. You're headed off to college. Where are you going?
I'm going to Coastal Carolina.
Wow.
Where I'm also going to double major in psychology and then add a later major in general music because I want to do music therapy actually.
Absolutely, I love it.
You go, Noah.
And you plan on furthering your degree. You told me that one time before. What else you gonna get?
I want to get a PhD.
So Noah's going places.
Look at here.
So yeah. And
Look
so
at this
having that
journey.
future there,
Mhm.
having that's where I want to go. This here is just the foundation. So then when you make the move and make those decisions, all of this is training ground, good, bad, or indifferent. It's training ground for making the right connections, right friends, right environment, right apartment, literally, what schools to go to. You chose Coastal Carolina. We talked a little bit about that and why you chose them. You know what major you want. You're way ahead of the game, per
Mhm.
se. Now it's going to be doing the work, but you got that too
Mhm.
because you've been doing a lot of it already in the midst of adversity, which is called resilience. And that as a youth and even as adults, that's what we gleam off of. That is what helps us get from one place to the next. I'm very proud of you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank
That
you.
is right.
My school does make it at least known that there is help. Because we have 2 school psychologists. I know one better than the other because where I have my classes, that's where she was mostly located around that area. The other one's all on the other side. So I knew of her and what she looked like. I just didn't get close to her as I did the other one. They do make it known, but you know, kids go through that stigma. I'm like, are they actually gonna help me, or am I just gonna be for show or a statistic, or they gotta at least say, yeah, we do it, and that'll be that sort of thing as well. Or it's just a simple, we just don't want to go anybody. We're in our head constantly, nobody's gonna understand. We're always like, oh, nobody's gonna understand me, nobody's gonna know where I'm coming from. But I feel like that stigma is very detrimental because somebody's gonna understand what we go through, especially as a Black community. Somebody, Black, white, whoever they may be, somebody knows what we go through. Somebody might have gone through the exact thing that you have gone. Me, it's always been anxiety. I'm always anxious of what I'm about. I'm anxious of what I do, what I say, or anything, because me being the person I am, I'm constantly looked at because of what I have done. So there's that anxiety of like, I have to make sure I stay at my best. I can't be seen lacking, or what we say in my generation as caught in 4K.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Basically like not getting caught lacking. Like for example, you're falling asleep somewhere and somebody catches you. That's being caught lacking. Or if somebody even gets you on like on their phone, it's called caught in 4K. So that's a little slang for you.
Yes.
But that's there's that stigma right there, and then it's just a lot. Like I think my biggest thing in my life was just an identity crisis. You did mention about being brought up a different way. I was. Certain stigmas that I've seen in the Black community as like liking Jordans, saggy pants, girls get her hair with the weaves and stuff, boys do rags and stuff like that, and then liking basically unhealthy foods like ramen noodles, the watermelon, Kool-Aid, fried chicken, you know, all those things. Me, I don't like to sag or have holes in my jeans. I like my jeans with everything together and stuff. That's been me. Or I played sports, but I'm not a big sports person, like I say. I'm a music kid. Other boys, they out here, football, basketball, baseball, playing all these other sports, and I've never been into that. And then how I dressed, how people say it that I dress is like a white kid, basically, a white boy. But that's how I was raised. I mentioned I lived in Georgia. That's what I saw the boys in my neighborhood, even of just diversity. It wasn't just an all-white neighborhood. It was of different people.
Right.
That's how we dressed. And I came here, I saw how boys dressed here. And where I was going to school, it was mostly white boys. So that's what my brain got hooked on of, and that's how I just dressed, but I always been insecure of that. So if you say it looks nice on me, some people say it looks white on me. So there's also that stigma of like therapy isn't for black people, or therapy is that white people stuff. And then I'm like, therapy is for anybody that needs it legitimately. But it's not just a certain thing. I mean, like, I know, like, there's this joke that we have on social media. It's on TikTok. It was a video. It was a creator, and they're just talking about how, like, when parents, like, tell you to, you go to a parent, excuse me, and you're like, I feel depressed, or I feel certain this, and then they want to say, like, you better go depress some dishes, then, you know, the blackmailing and the whole gaslighting in itself is just bad too. We teenagers, we like being heard, and when we're not heard, it's not going to be great. When you don't hear us, and you don't at least try to attempt to understand us, or you understand where we're coming from, and you don't try to get to know us, you're gonna know when we don't like you or anything of that matter. We're not gonna hide it. Some people may hide it, but it might be very slick. Me, I was in person like, I don't like you, sorry.
So the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, the truth. So, Dr. Gaffney, comments?
You know, no, it's absolutely right. We as a people have the superwoman mentality. Therefore, our children also has to have the super children mentality. So suck it up, go to bed, get up, do your work. That's what I need you to do. We don't have time to play. We don't have time to cry. No, you don't need no water. It's a harsh mentality. And because we've done it for so many generations and things have evolved around that, we now have a generation who says, that ain't gonna work no more. Because it's a different language. It's a different language than when I grew up. You know, when he talk about being able to talk to someone and allow them to be able to hear him, and it's really important that we hear them, but I remember, you don't have a voice, you know, or you remember, you don't have anything to say, you do what I tell you to do. That's all I need to do what I tell you to. So there was a time when order was very important to our people back in the slave days, right? Because I needed you to be in order so I don't get in trouble. So that's passed on. But it's translated over the years to what we needed to fit us. I need you to act right in school so I can go to work. Don't act right in school, then you're going to have consequences, right? Pressure. That's pressure.
And that comes that anxiety.
Here comes anxiety. Now you got anxiety. Back then, mom and them used to say, well, get up and go to school. Put them clothes on, keep going. Now, I need you to see my child because I've noticed they're picking their hair out. They're biting their clothes. They're sad, or they flip the table. It's now coming out in different ways that back then, there wasn't. I'm part of 4% of the country of black psychiatrists. It's not a lot of us. A lot of us don't believe it. That's okay, but we do understand as a people behavior. We may not know what to call it. We may not care to go get it treated, but we know something's different about that child. And my quest is, and I hear Noah, is to just listen, to provide resources. It doesn't fit perfectly in a box all the time. It can look different ways. He likes sports, but he didn't care about competitive sports. But he liked it to be active. So you enter a conversation with him about something I can't even, the playoffs, the basketball playoffs. He might know about that, but he may not, and that should be okay.
Right.
And I hear him saying it should be okay for me to be who I am, regardless of what you want to do. Let him be himself, you know. So, yeah, it's these generational, and we still got grandparents and parents like, you know, make them eat that food, but they're not gonna eat it. You know?
No.
You're not gonna eat it.
I'm not gonna. That reminds me when I was a kid. Like, I don't know. It was potatoes. With me, with potatoes, I can't do like mashed potatoes, potatoes au gratin. I can't do any of that. But I can do like a hash brown from McDonald's, potato chips and fries and let's see, yeah, basically that, and tater tots from Sonic. But like, just anything that's beside those things I do like, I can't do it. And I remember like one time my mom's like, well, you're not leaving that table till you finish the potatoes. And I'm like, I don't like the potatoes. Not because they taste bad. I'm a texture person, unfortunately. Anything that I don't like, it's always texture. It's never been taste. And you have that stigma of just being told, well, you're gonna do this whether you like it or not. And then that's where that child does it. They get into it and it makes them feel worse. And then once they get to that, okay, I'm just not gonna do it no more, then that comes separation of the parents and being mad at their child for not doing what they want to do. But also I hear sometimes that comes from parents having a passion for something that they never got to have the chance to do. So now they're trying to instill in their child and live it out through their child. Great to them, but not great for the relationship of the child and for the child itself. You got them putting their energy into something that they don't want to do or don't have a passion for, and then it comes to that burnout, and when your child finally gets sick of it, now it's chaos and arguing and getting kicked out, or who knows what the circumstances may be of that. That's why I'm just like, I like what I do. I know what I'm about. I know what I'm going for. If you have an issue with me doing this, sorry, tough luck. This is what I like. I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna excel at it. That's how it's always been. If I like to do something, I bring it up to my parents. If I can do it, and if it requires financial need, talk to them about that. They say yes to both. Okay, then I'm doing it. That's how it's been with my parents, and we never had an issue about anything that I do, unless they're just like, we can't do it.
Right.
It's just not possible. So I'm not worried about that part.
Community, please listen. This is a youth, and as Dr. Gaffeny stated, he is being transparent, and he's sharing with us the way they feel as young adults. We are older. We were brought up differently. But guess what? This is a new day and a new time. And so parents, if you're out there, family members that are listen to the youth. They're telling us, they're sharing with us what is going on. And we need to take a step back, let them express themselves, and see where we need to go forward, and not try to drill things into them the way we were brought up. So I thank you, Noah, for sharing that and making us more aware. And also you, Dr. Gaffney. And you wanted to say something else? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say, like, our biggest thing with my generation is the gaslighting and like the trauma dumping and living out your traumas. That's always been a big thing as well. People wanna launch their traumas onto themselves.
So tell me, what is gaslighting?
Gaslighting is like acknowledging, not even acknowledge, you just basically turning a blind eye at it. You just pretend like you don't hear anything. You can, or like for example, if you can say that wall is gray, and I'll just be like, no, it's not. You're telling me the truth, but I'm not gonna listen to it. That's gaslighting it. It's literally like when you see that gas light in your car and you're dreading to get the gas, so you just pretend to don't see it till you end up on the street stranded.
Okay. Okay.
and then the trauma dumping, constantly adults telling us, well, this is what we went through, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, okay, well, how your situation went, why do you feel the need that what I'm not going through isn't causing as much damage? Maybe little to you, but it's big to us. Everybody's different, so how you feel about this is not going to equate to how I feel about this. I just need you to help me figure out how to feel about it and what I need to do about it, because I don't know.
I would just, in looking at the terms gaslighting and the term trauma dumping, therapy has evolved to where instead of it being isolating to a child and a person, they now have parent involvement type of therapies. Because what he's speaking of, it appears there's a parent relationship dynamic that has gone awry. And whether I take my wounds and pour them into my children, or I make my child believe something that really isn't true. That's, guys, it's blind, it's false, it's not the truth, but I need you to believe that for me to go forward. I need to controlling. Oftentimes it's about control and authority. In order for me to control my children, my family, I have to take authority. And maybe I learned the manipulative behaviors when I was younger, or maybe I never had my own trauma addressed, therefore I give it to my children and my core family, and it's called core values. And so core values is how we make decisions, good, bad, or indifferent. So now there's treatment for the whole family to be able to learn the dynamics of what's been happening so they can get better. So then I, as a parent, I don't treat my child like they're equal. I don't treat my child like they stepped on my toe or they owe me something. I gave birth to them. You don't owe me nothing. I gotta put the roof over your head. I got to whether I like it or not, right? Whether you're bad or good, I gotta do that. But I have to know that I can be better. And sometimes it's hard for parents to come to somebody and say, I need help managing my family and households. But there is help for families, for parents. There's a lot more parenting skills lately. Skills, classes, church communities. It always feels good to know that somebody else is yelling at their child in the morning besides me. Feels great. So I just wanted to add that, because as the open wounds, we gotta close them too. And I know it can be hurtful to see that in your peers or in your own life, to experience why my mom and them treat me that way, right? And you don't have anybody ask that question to.
The next question that I have for you all, what impact can other adults have on youth to ensure a healthy and successful life? So
Just being there for your kid, or child, whatever they may be to you, just being there for us, and just building that relationship. Having parents in your life, I have seen it, or just having a single parent household, or parents are fighting. I have seen it with some of my friends, or parents being, belligerent to us as well. Family life, I would say, the teenager, when it comes to mental health, is important, because where it does start is in the home. With any issue, it potentially starts in the home, childhood home, whatever it may be. And then let's say a teenager gets in an argument with their parent because they had a chore and they didn't get a chance to do it because they had other things to do as well. So now that parent's mad. So now that child has to stay up late at night to complete that chore, missing out on sleep, knowing they got like a giant assessment test the next day. So now that happens, child gets less sleep, now they're not fully prepared or in their right mindset to take this test, and now that anxiety comes in. Like I said, it starts in the home. So for teens to get better, it needs to get better in the home. If it gets better in the home, they'll start to have hope for on the outside, just going to those simple places, just going to school. Some people, they just go to school and then that's it. Some people go to school and then they work, or some people go to school and they do their activities and stuff like that. It's just as simple as the parents being there.
He said it all. Family dynamics, encouraging your children, just taking that time out, play Uno, or taking that time out and do something a little bit different that day. It'll help you and it'll help your child too. So.
Okay. All right, the next question for Noah. What can youth do to help each other? And we know that you all are dealing with suicide, you're dealing with bullying, so what can you do? Just briefly.
We have to find our sense of community, I would say. Of course, like I said, in high school or even in middle school, you start forming those cliques and stuff. Or if you and your friends have been together since birth or because y'all live in the same neighborhood and stuff, those relationships start to build. But sometimes they've been there in those circles so much, people don't know how to branch out and build a bigger community within what they already have. So I'm saying us being there for each other, at least respecting what each other is about. Yeah, we may tease each other about it at the end of the day, but at the real end of the day, we only have each other, especially when it gets later on in life. Our parents are going to eventually not be there no more. It's just going to be us. We're going to be the older ones of the world soon. So I say it comes to just us respecting each other, building that self-love for ourselves and then radiating that love to each other. Because it's there, but at the same time it's not there.
Okay. And Dr. Gaffeny, would you like to share a scripture to go with this?
Oh, sure. Let's see what I print down. So there are a couple scriptures. I apologize. So when you think about youth wellness, I go to Jeremiah 29 and 11. And then I go to Romans 8, 1 through 39. And Luke chapter 1, verse 37. And what these scriptures, when I looked at these, they just talk about engagement. When you think about youth and engagement and order, we all want to bring order, but we have to do it the godly way. So then we know and can see the pitfalls that he speaks of. We're not perfect. At the same time, we can reach out and get help from God and the church family. So then we can get more support. Noah has more people to come to besides his parents because maybe they don't understand Noah, but maybe they can get help from somebody that may understand Noah. So as an example. So I would utilize those scriptures to pray on.
Okay. Thank you, community. And thank you, Noah Banks. And thank you, Dr. Ebony Gaffeny, for your contribution today and for making us more aware of everything that is going on for youth wellness, because the things that you have told me are things that I never would have thought of before, because I'm from the old school. My parents were do as I say do, and you're gonna do this because this is what I told you to do, and you're not gonna talk back, you're not gonna speak. I didn't ask you for your opinion. So you are teaching us about this new generation that is saying, I need to be heard. I need to be understood. I need for you to know that this was fine for you, but this is not fine for me. I have another journey that I'm going to take. And then with Dr. Gaffeny coming back with the resources and also telling us the truth about how we are supposed to handle everything and treat each other as friends and as family and as peers, whatever. So we greatly, greatly appreciate this conversation today with you all, with both of you. And on behalf of our pastor, Dr. Larry T. Crudup, and the Mount Moriah Baptist Church family, we want to say thank you for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us today. And resources are out there. The scriptures have been given to you. They will be provided on the screen for you so that you can go back and look at this again and listen in detail and really listen to what Noah Banks have taught us tonight or this afternoon or this morning, whenever you choose to look at this. Also, The community needs to know that they can go to the website, Facebook, etc., to read the scriptures, to see QR codes, quotes, and all of the other references and resources. We want to thank you for the opportunity to come into your home and allow us to share this valuable information that is going on throughout the world. And once again, please make sure, if you need assistance right now, and this is also for the youth, please call the crisis hotline. They are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call 211 or text HELP to 211, or you can go to southcarolina211.org. Once again, these services are free and in multiple languages, and we already know that Noah speaks multiple languages. Okay, so join us the next time for Community Conversations, where you will always be inspired, informed, and empowered to be successful. Thank you. Thank you both.
We hope that this community conversation has been informative, inspiring, and empowering. If it has, we ask that you please like, share, and comment on this video. We also invite you to like and follow our Facebook and YouTube channels for more soul-feeding content. We'll see you next time for our community conversation.